Hey VC, it's Ron. Thanks for stopping by. Well, I'm transmitting from the new, improved Hogs Den. Yeah, I'm all moved, and it was quite an undertaking, but I did it in a week. I worked on it every day, and it worked out pretty well, actually. I had a couple of mishaps where I misplaced my keys at one point, and I also misplaced the combination to my fire safe. But both were found, but there for a while I was stressing out a little bit over that, but it all worked out in the end. And so, no recent finds today. This is strictly Vclt. I got a great package from our good friend Randy, better known as DEADWAX66. So he sent me a nice little package of LPs and 45s. So we're going to take a look at those right now. The first LP I'm going to show is the first album by Collectibles. And when I was a teenager, I was into this band. And Randy knew that I did not have this first album, and so he sent me a copy, and I had not heard it since the mid-'80s, so it was great to listen to this thing again. In fact, this is the very first thing that I listened to of the package he sent. This next album that I'm going to show that he sent is The Now Sound, and this is a compilation of Columbia artists on Columbia Special Products label. Still sealed, and $4.95 price sticker on there. Seems like a bit high to me. You'd think something like this would be budget priced, but pretty cool. It's got the birds on it, so very nice. Great cover on that. And then he sent me a slice of Exploitation, and this is the third album by the California Poppy Pickers. And yeah, this is just basically cover versions with vocals. It was a band put together by Tom Paxton. The mastermind, it was behind Monster Mash and a lot of other things, Hollywood Art Dials. So yeah, it's on the Ashar label, and this is a Canadian import. Best thing on this album, I would say, would be the cover version of Back in the USSR. And he sent me a Ventures album. Now, I'd seen this around in the bins, but I never picked it up. And it's Underground Fire by the Ventures. So it's got like heavy rock tunes of the day. Light My Fire, Sunshine of Your Love, Born to Be Wild, that kind of stuff. So he says it's a very good album, so I've not listened to this yet. And the last album he sent me is a Michigan comp called Michigan Mixture. And I would imagine this is unauthorized. And this is just really good. Starts out with a live recording of a band called The In Sound, I believe, and they're doing a raw garage version of Soul Kitchen by The Doors. That's just really, really good. Yeah, this is not your typical well-produced slick production garage. It's a little bit more on the edge, where it's more raw and just really, really cool stuff. So I would definitely recommend getting this one. And this one's volume 2. Black vinyl. Yeah, I'm sure this is unauthorized because I don't even see a label name on the album. Okay, then he sent me just a few interesting things here. He sent me a package of incense, Grateful Dead and it's dated 2005. Sent me this interesting card. I have no idea what it is. Randy probably doesn't either. It's just a weird little card, blank on the back, but definitely looks vintage. Pretty cool. And he sent me a greeting card that has a reproduction of a Grande Ballroom poster from Detroit. And it's got a Jefferson Airplane on it, along with some other groups there. Blue Cheer is included in there. And it's just got the envelope, and it's just blank on the inside of the card itself. Pretty recent. I'm sure it's quite recent, but no date on it, but very, very cool. Okay, then he sent me a little stack of 45s. Start with the really old stuff first. Some Bill Haley and the Comets. And this is from 1955, Birth of the Boogie. And this is August 59. Oh looky there, ain't she pretty. And the B-side of this, which actually turned out to be the most popular song of the two, is Joey's song. And that's the song that was playing when I was eating my chicken dinner. This one is The Wicked, Spider and the Fly on the Isabel Records label. This one I have not been able to find out too much information on this. Like where it's from, if they had any other records. It's kind of slim on information on the internet, but Randy said it had Lenny Kaye involvement. Although I have not been able to substantiate that online. Maybe he has that information in a book or something, but it's from November 1979. And I classify it as psych, like a horror psych song. Really cool. Unfortunately, it's only 2 minutes long, and they should have done some heavy fuzzed out freak out guitar on it, you know, pushed it up to 4 minutes or something, 3 minutes, but still it's super very cool. And it's got an instrumental version of This Diamond Ring, Gary Lewis and the Playboys. This is the original local pressing out of Wisconsin of the Unchained Minds, who also had some records out on the Buddha label. And this is a cover version of Hole in My Shoe, and also Warm Smoke is on the flip. It's on the Transaction label from April of 1968. Now I don't know if Randy knows this or not, but I looked in the DEADWAX at the matrix information, and it's got the initials SJW, which stands for Sidney J. Wakefield. This was mastered in Phoenix, Arizona. The parts were cut here. It's possible that the record was pressed here too, because I've seen that color label on some local stuff before. But the parts were definitely cut here. You could always tell by the SJW identifier in the DEADWAX. So kind of interesting. Okay, then he sent me some stuff out of Michigan. This is a pop record by a band called The Resolution on a small label, GM label. And it's from 1971 out of Detroit. And it's The Old Man. And the other side is Pretty Girl Why, which is a Buffalo Springfield cover version written by Stephen Stills. So yeah, this is pop, but it is a very good record. And he sent me a, he says it's the local pressing of Terry Knight and the Pack, Better Man Than I, which is a Yardbirds cover version. And you can see there it says Flint, Michigan on the Lucky 11 label. And I guess that's the identifier that it's local. And there's the flip side. Both of these tracks are on their first album, although this may have come out before that album was released. He sent me another Terry Knight and the Pack, and this is a cover version of the Stones' Lady Jane. It's a white label promo on Lucky 11. And the flip side is Love and Kind, and both of those tracks are on the first album. But I noticed Love and Kind is an alternate take compared to what's on the stereo version of the album. I don't know if this version would be on the mono version of the album, but I know this is definitely different from what's on the stereo. It's 9 seconds longer, and it's very noticeably different. In fact, towards the end on the fade out, one version has the drum beat is ch, 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 slowed down like that. But on the other version, it's more like a roll. So that's, you know, that's obviously, those are different takes. So very cool. And the other Detroit record he sent me is it's a radio station. DJs put this out in my guess 1981, because it's got a cover version of Greg Kinn's what is it, the breakup song. That was the big hit. But on this record it is the Wake Up song. And it also has a cover version, well, it's a parody actually, of 96 Tears. It's 96 Beers, question mark of the Mysterians. And that is just hilarious. That cracked me up. Really clever lyrics to that. And the other one is A Good High, which is a Kings parody of Switchin' to Glide from 1980. But 3 songs on this, and really cool. He sent me a more recent punk rock record out of Detroit, and it's The Stools. And I saw Randy show this on his channel, and it's on the Third Man record label. And this is not, you know, they have a few other singles, so this is not their first record or anything like that, but I guess all they've got out is some 7-inch stuff. I don't think they have any albums. But this is 4-song record, and just excellent. It's kind of, if you really look through the rawness, the distortion, the heaviness, the gritty vocal, you look deep down into it, and you're gonna see some blues based sound in there. One track's kind of got that Bo Diddley beat to it, so that their sound is definitely based in the blues, but it's this really cool punk rock. Okay, that is gonna do it. Now I got my receiver up and running, and you'll remember a couple years ago it crapped out on me and I got it fixed. I want to show you something, what you can do with these old receivers that have a mono switch. Let me turn my camera around and put the music back on. Okay, this is the old receiver that I got repaired. Pioneer model DEADWAX66 and this was a top of the line for 1972, and it has this cool mono selector on it. Now the album is playing, and it's what we've been listening to, is the first Status Quo, and this album was released in fake rechanneled stereo in the United States. So what you can do with this, I have it on the left channel, as you can see right there, mono left channel, and that makes it sound really good. It's in the regular channel, whereas the right channel sounds real tinny like this. Now that's the left and the right. It sounds a little bit better than having just the right channel, but it still doesn't sound as good as just having the left channel. So essentially with the selector, you can take any rechanneled stereo album, play it through the left channel, and it's going to sound like normal mono. So pretty cool. Okay, that's gonna do it, and the next video I put up will be recent finds. Thanks for stopping by and checking out the Vclt, and big thanks again to Randy. He always comes through. So everybody take care, and I will catch you next time. Later.